I'm Rob.
I'm Clee.
And this is the Be Quiet 601 case review by
Barefoot Gaming.
We're going to start off by talking about the case itself. How easy is it to get into this case?
Very easy. It's got a toolless panel removal.
So toolless, it is a button. Now I know you guys are used to thumb screws in a lot of high-end cases. These guys went a step beyond with just a button that you press in. The whole side panel pops forward, and that's it. And both sides work exactly the same. All the rest of the screws in the case are thumb screws, but both panels come off with the push of a button. Now, it's not just the 601 case that they sent us to do a review of. They also sent a power supply, which you can't see because it is around the back is where it gets installed. Now, the power supply is a Pure Power 11 600 watt that they sent. The dimensions, because you can't always tell just by looking at a picture, this thing is 53 by 51 by 23 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches. I can't convert it off the top of my head, but that's what we wrote down. It's 11.2 kilograms, so it's actually a pretty beefy case. Now, they're not all the same. This case is available both with and without a window, and the one we got was without, because the goal of this was to see how quiet we could make the case. Hence the name of the case itself, with the Be Quiet, which they use an exclamation mark. It's not quiet if you have to yell it.
Well, maybe they're just excited. You can be excited and quiet.
They're excited about being quiet. I like that. And how do they stay so quiet? Well, it turns out they're using 10 millimeter dampening mats. So it's like a really condensed foam, and it's on the sides, it's on the back, it's on all over the place. And all it does is it just prevents any noise from inside coming out. There is a negative to that, because the more insulated your case is, the hotter it's going to get. Now, it's just the nature of things, right? You wrap anything in insulation, it's going to have a harder time venting. The other way that this thing keeps quiet is the fact that it's got redirected vents. So not only do they have like funky fins on all of their fans, but the front vents that actually draw the air through, they call them noise dampening vents, because instead of it pulling air directly in front of the fan, it pulls it in from the side. So do you remember what the fans look like?
Yes, they had that wavy.
Yeah, they're like a weird, funky waviness. And when we plugged them in and ran them directly beside another fan, it is like noticeably different.
Yeah. We could probably get a picture to put up for the video.
I think we will.
Okay.
So there are two of these fans pre-installed in the case. They are 144 millimeter. I think they're called the Pure Wings 2, which is a little weird, but whatever. They work really well, aside from the name.
You're forgetting the pretty. And the pretty is that it comes in 4 beautiful colors. Those are orange, black, gray, and red.
Never forget the pretty. That's what I always say. I've never said that before, but I should start saying it. There is a 3-step fan controller on the top of this case.
Yeah.
So you can flip it to, depending on how fast you want the fans to run, even at their most. How loud was it?
It was still pretty quiet.
This is a quiet case. They should say something about that in the name of it, I think.
They do deliver on the name. And for the practical people out there, there's a 3-year manufacturer warranty, which someone like me really appreciates. In addition to that, you've got front jacks, which include 1 USB and 2.0, 2 USBs and 3.0, 1 HD audio jack, and of course there's a mic input as well.
Hard drives. This thing has a hard drive chassis on the back, which floats. So there's 2 thumb screws. When I say the back, I should really say the back as to what you're seeing. The side of the case is where the hard drives slip into. This thing holds 4 standard hard drives. Holds 2 standard hard drives, 4 solid state hard drives. But it also has 5 expansion ports. Now those you have to buy separate. If you need more hard drives than that and you want to mount them in there, you're going to need to buy them, and they only hold 1 standard hard drive or 2 solid states each. So you could have a buttload, excuse the technical term, number of hard drives in this thing. Getting back to the fact that the hard drives slip in from the side, they describe it as decoupled. And all that means, it's same with the power supply. Everything floats. It doesn't sit up against the chassis. And even when the hard drives are spinning, if they're standard hard drives, solid states don't spin, but your fan on your power supply will, what ends up happening is it creates a little bit of a shake, and that creates noise. So what they've done is they've isolated it and they float. So it's not actually sitting up against the chassis, it's just the whole metal bracket is, if that makes sense. technically they can kind of flop around in there, and that's, again, my technical term for the day.
Flop around.
Flop around. All the hard drive enclosures have rubber gaskets that hold the hard drives in place. They are orange in color in this case, but yeah, it's just rubber to make sure that, again, it's one more step of it making any noise. Motherboards, I'm rambling and I apologize. This supports eATX, supports ATX, it supports MATX, supports Mini ITX, has a detachable top bracket. If you want to install a 360mm radiator, up to 360, it'll take smaller as well. The only other thing I'm going to mention is that there are no front jacks. If you have a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive sitting at home that you wanted to put in here, good freaking luck, not going to happen. 3.5s, not going to happen. So give me some pros, give me some cons. What was your takeaway on this case? It's not a cheap case. You can get it with window or without, like I said, and that will make a difference. If you like the pretty, you want the window. You like the quiet, you want it closed.
I like the quiet. Part of the reason that I came in on this review in the first place is that I tend to be sensitive, if not irrationally irritable when it comes to noise, particularly fan noise. I have a mild hearing impairment, and fan noise can actually deafen me and make it so that I can miss what's being discussed in my surroundings. So something like this becomes a little bit more critical for somebody in a position like mine, and I did not find that I had any of the irritability, I didn't have any of the distraction, and I certainly didn't have any of the loss of focus or concentration when I was trying to listen to things that were happening around me. So in that respect, it was really, I was a hard person to impress on this, and they did it.
Now they also make CPU fans and heat sinks, which I did not test out. But throwing in like a GPU it's got a couple extra fans in it. I ran that. I ran the one of the Riven coolers that I have. So I had a bunch of ambient noise aside from their quiet fans, and absolutely wholeheartedly agree, this thing does a really good job of keeping it quiet. My only negative to the case is the fact that it will run warmer. You don't want to use this case as an overclock machine. I wouldn't, even with a water cooler or whatever. This thing is just a good home use machine, and I wouldn't be scared of running your 1070s or 1080s in there. This thing will be fine. Just don't push extra heat into the case unless you want to throw extra fans or something else in it. Before I forget, there is also a pull-out vent cover in the bottom. So from the front, you can just grab it, pull it forward, and then you can clean it out. I don't know if it's like, it's not plastic, it's not metal, like it's kind of
possibly
like
nylon.
Nylon maybe, yeah. But that's it. That is our Be Quiet 601 case review. You have any questions, leave them down below. We always check. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share our videos. We love hearing from you, and we'll talk to you again real soon. See ya.
Take care.